Hi, so I'm going to be talking about assessments, and even though they are called assessments, don't let that make you think they have to be tests, that they have to be summative. Assessments are actually a great tool to use for formative assignments also, because a lot of the things that we do in our classrooms already, to convert them into a digital version, assessments is actually your best option. So I'm going to start by creating an assessment. So in one of my courses, I'm going to click Add Materials and Add Assessment. Another option, if this is an assessment that your whole team is going to be using, I would suggest going into your groups. Let me go into my librarian cohort because I'm an editor in this one. And into resources, add a resource, and I could add an assessment template in here. So the reason I'm showing you this in groups, if you add the assessment in your group, so let's say your team has a shared group, the fourth grade math group, you can create your assessment in your fourth grade math group, and then all of you can use that assessment in your own individual courses. If you build the assessment in your course, it can't go the other way. You can't build it in a course and then move it to a group. You have to build it in a group for everybody to be able to move it to their courses. So I'm not going to add an assessment into this group. I'm going to do it in my course. Let's say I am testing on matter. Put due date in here. So this is an easy place to mess up. If you don't enable your submissions, all your students will go in and you'll say, okay, why can nobody take the test? Or why can nobody do this assignment? So you can enable it, and that means it's just open. Or let's say you're pre-scheduling this. So this is going to be for Wednesday of next week. So I am going to have it open only on Wednesday of next week. And I want it to open up at 8 a.m. and I want it to close at 4 p.m. I don't want any of my students working on this at home. I only want them to access it during school hours. If you want them to have a password, you can do that. Category. So as I was saying, an assessment does not have to be a summative assignment. It can be a formative assignment. So I'm going to click on formative assignment. This is going to stay numeric because I'm actually going to go in and grade every question. Remember, you could also change your scale and make it completion. And I am absolutely turning on my grade statistics because I want to be able to look at this later and see what standards my students did well on and which standards they did not do well on. So I'm going to click on create. So I'm going to go into my assessment builder now. And then in your setup, there are options in here: time limits, randomly ordering the questions, show the possible points for each question, flagging questions for review. I always like to turn this one on because I know myself as a digital test taker, that's something that I rely on a lot. Eliminate answer choices. Yes, we absolutely want to let them do this. My assignment is matter. Sure, I'll let them use a basic calculator. A ruler, no, they're not going to need that. Protractor, no. Highlight text, always yes for me. Use a notepad, I guess so. I do urge you, though, if you teach lower grade levels, don't enable too much here because that whole toolbar may distract your students. So this right here I like. So allow students to review results after an attempt is submitted. So while everybody's still taking the test, I would leave this on no. Let's say the next day you're going to go over the answers of the test with your class and they're going to do test corrections. I would flip this to yes with correct answers while they're doing their test corrections. That way I'm not standing up at the front of the room going through every question and explaining every question when my students only need to look at the ones that they missed. This is a great way to individualize learning in your classroom. So after everybody's taken the test, I would flip this over to yes with correct answers. and have my students get back into the test and see what they missed, look at the correct answer, and then they would need to justify why that was the correct answer. They would have to fix and show the work on paper. You can also edit how many times they're able to submit. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and hit save because I made changes on this screen. And then there's no point in creating this if I don't have questions. So the first question type I want to show you is label image. So you have to upload an image. So let me see if I can find states of matter. I'm going to use this one, but I don't want the words on the bottom. So I'm going to take a snip where I leave those words out. Let's pretend like that's a pretty picture. I'm going to come back to my question. I'm going to upload that picture. So there is my image. This is what the students are going to see. And hit OK. So when you upload this image, we need some directions, label the states of matter. And down here is where you're going to draw your labels. So I'm going to draw this label right here. I'm going to draw this label right here. Actually, I don't like where that one is. I'll move that up. And I'm going to draw a label right here. So this is where the students would be entering in their answers. Possible responses. So if you want to give them a word bank, this is where you would do that. So I want to give them solid, liquid, and gas. And then down here, you see my answer options. So I'm going to put gas over here, liquid here, and solid here. I would add my learning objective. And there is a way to put these learning objectives in a easier to access location. I can show that to you individually. I don't know what grades do matter. I know physics does. Let's pretend I'm doing the right one. Confirm. So here I have my question. I'm going to click on save. And I want to preview this question so that I can show y'all what it looks like. So this is what the students will see, label the states of matter, and they have to drag and drop for the different states of matter. The other question type I want to show you is a chart. So you can set up different kinds of charts. Let's say I want this chart to be about apples. My y-axis is going to be maximum of 10. My x-axis is going to be people or person. How many apples does Joe have? Now, how many apples do Joe and Amy have? Y-axis is going to be number of on X. I'm going to have Joe. I'm going to have Amy. say Joe has 5, Amy has 3. You can adjust the threshold, so if you want to let them be within 1 unit of being correct, you can do that also. I would add up here a picture of Joe and Amy with their apples. These are my elves. We'll pretend like this is some apples. And they would count in the picture. So when I save this, let's look at the preview. Sorry, I can't see because of where my stuff is. Next. When the students get here, they can move this up and down. So I actually, when I typed in the value, I typed in the right answer. So I didn't want to really do that. So let me go in and edit this. I want it to start off at 0. And then the correct answer will be here. I hit save. Preview. Here we go. So pretend this is a picture of Joe and Amy. I'm counting apples. And then they would correctly pick the right answer, and they get to drag and drop this chart. Okay, also you can change what kind of chart it is. You can change it to where it's a pie graph. You can change it to where it is a plot with the dots. This next one, fill in the blank. So fill in the blank, it took me a minute to figure this out. So when you have fill in the blank, list the types of matter. A blank. So to get that response added in, I have to hit shift and then the underline key, and it will give me the response. A blank is the densest form of matter. Okay, so I would put solid here. Exact match or partial match, your option. You can say it's case sensitive or not case sensitive, depends on if you're grading based on capitalization. With our students, I would say partial match because of spelling problems. Let me save this so y'all can see what the students would see. So they would just have the blank, type it in, and then they would finish. Another thing I want to show y'all, and I'll use this one. So unlike in other parts of Schoology where you record audio and then it uploads this audio file and then you have to download it and then you click on it and it opens it up in a different app and all of that, a different program. On assessments, right here where you have tools, I can click on tools. I can record audio. So I'm going to click on record audio. I'm going to click here. Fill in the types of matter. A blank is the densest form of matter. Okay, so I am done with my audio recording. Hit OK. It's right here. I can preview and listen to it. You can change what kind of, how it looks. So you just click play, or you can do it as a bar, which means they would be able to fast forward and rewind. Minimal, play or listen. Image, You could create your own image. I like the bar, personally. Okay, when I hit OK, so the bar audio player is now in my question. So when the student goes in, this is what they will see. They won't see the answer, but they'll see the box is the densest form of matter, and then the audio recording will be right there. They don't have to download it. They just click play, and it's in there.